Deep in Navajo lore, there is an entity known as the naaldlooshii. Roughly translated, it means, by means of it, it goes on all fours. Outsiders know this malevolent shapeshifter by a different name, the Skinwalker. According to traditional belief, these entities do not start out as monsters. They begin as benevolent medicine men who reach the highest levels of priesthood. But by choosing to abuse indigenous magic, they acquire dark mythical powers, specifically the ability to possess or entirely transform into animals. The fear surrounding this lore is intensely practical. Among the Navajo, there is a strict taboo against discussing these beings with outsiders, or even among themselves. Tradition holds that simply speaking its name makes its appearance more likely. For centuries, the outside world treated these accounts as psychological artifacts. Mainstream society categorized the shapeshifters as isolated myths, neatly contained within the boundaries of ancient folklore. That strictly folkloric view fractured in 1996. A local Utah newspaper published a front-page story chronicling a single family's traumatizing experiences on their new property, thrusting the ancient legend into modern public view. The location was a vast, isolated 512-acre plot of land in the American Southwest. Today, it is widely known as Skinwalker Ranch. The property had become a magnet for a bizarre concentration of anomalies. Reports detailed UFO sightings of varying sizes, the sudden appearance of crop circles, and grisly cattle mutilations. The density of these reports pinned a centuries-old legend to a specific 512-acre physical location. The people at the center of that 1996 newspaper story were Terry and Gwen Sherman. Their attempt to live and run a cattle operation on the ranch lasted only 18 harrowing months. The family quickly discovered that conventional weapons were useless here. Late one night, Terry encountered a wolf with glowing red eyes that was nearly 3 times the size of a normal animal. He fired 3 point-blank shotgun blasts into its hide, and the creature simply stood there, unfazed. The threat to their livestock was even more precise. 7 of their cows died or disappeared. The ones left behind were drained of blood, with organs removed with surgical precision. One animal was found dead in a clump of trees, enveloped in an odd chemical smell. The physical evidence defied basic tracking logic. In one instance, a missing 1,200-pound cow left deep tracks in fresh snow. Those tracks abruptly stopped in the middle of a field. There were no signs of a struggle, no retreating footprints, and no disturbed snow. The psychological breaking point came when Terry was walking his dogs at night. He heard disembodied voices speaking in unrecognized language from just 25 feet away in the pitch black. His dogs panicked and fled to the house, and the family soon followed suit, selling the property entirely. The Shermans' retreat proved a harsh reality. Traditional human defenses, firearms, locks, and fences, offered zero protection against whatever occupied the ranch. The next owner decided to attack the problem with empirical observation. Robert Bigelow, a Las Vegas realtor and UFO enthusiast, bought the ranch for $200,000 and deployed his National Institute for Discovery Science to establish continuous surveillance. The scientific team experienced the phenomena almost immediately. Biochemist Dr. Colm Kelleher spotted a large humanoid figure perched 20 feet up in a tree, staring back at him with penetrating, unblinking yellow eyes. When Kelleher fired a rifle, the entity fled, but it left physical proof in the soil. The team documented deep claw marks and heavy footprints resembling a massive bird of prey. The occurrences grew increasingly brazen. In broad daylight, the ranch manager tagged an 84-pound calf. When he returned just 45 minutes later, the animal was dead, its body cavity completely empty, and every drop of blood had been thoroughly removed from the scene. Bigelow's team poured millions into the site and documented over 100 separate incidents. Yet continuous scientific monitoring, night vision, and videotape equipment consistently failed to capture undeniable proof. The entity actively evaded observation. In 2016, Bigelow sold the property to Adamantium Holdings for $4.5 million. The new owners immediately locked the site down. They fortified the perimeter, installing infrared sensors, widespread alarm systems, and high-definition cameras, while deploying armed guards to patrol the boundaries. This medical diagram illustrates a severe escalation in the threat profile. Instead of external visual anomalies, current employees are facing direct physiological attacks. Workers have developed sudden, undiagnosable conditions, marked by severe skin inflammation and nausea that have sent several to the hospital. The facility now functions with the urgency of a hazardous biological containment zone. The psychological toll remains just as severe as the physical. Employee Thomas Winterton recounted driving up a ranch road when a sudden, overwhelming sense of dread paralyzed him. A disembodied voice spoke clearly, commanding him to stop and turn around. There is a sharp contrast between the millions of dollars in modern surveillance equipment attempting to capture this anomaly and the ancient Navajo medicine men who warned against even speaking its name. Decades of rotating ownership, escalating technology, and military-grade security protocols have yielded zero concrete answers. The phenomena on the property remain completely unbroken. Decades of rigorous scientific observation have failed to explain these varied phenomena. They have only managed to document their persistence across the same high desert acreage.